Earlier, if you were an advertiser or a brand looking to talk to, Delhi's audience or Bangalore's audience or Bombay's audience, you'd probably put an ad out in Delhi Times or Bombay Times or whatever else, right? So I think where we found a really sweet spot is in the digital age where young urban consumers are on their mobile phones. How does a brand find a way to connect with this bulk of users making so many transaction decisions every single day through a singular platform? And Little Black Book has been a solution to that problem. So for us, monetization right now has worked well through ads, through generating unique leads for brands, through disseminating information about brands that users might not have access to otherwise. And I think moving forward, a lot of what we want to do is help close a consumption loop where you might find something really exciting on Little Black Book, but you should be able to access it immediately, through LBB, which is what we want to do going forward. So for us, we see it panning out similar to TripAdvisor, where TripAdvisor grew itself to be the ultimate recommendations platform vis-a-vis travel, but now they link back to a Booking.com or an Expedia to help close the loop. What we've seen is in the past couple of years, there's been a lot of investment in companies that fulfill supply, right? So like e-commerce players, but who's creating the demand? Who is driving the decision to buy a phone? Who is driving the decision to buy a pair of pants? Who is driving the decision to book a restaurant or book a table at a restaurant? And we want LBB to be, that platform where if you're making local choices, the source of that choice should be our platform, but the closing of that choice and access to that choice can be done through third-party platforms, which in our case would be, companies like Amazon, Paytm, Dine Out, so on and so forth, who have invested heavily and done a very good job of locking in that supply chain. So for us, our biggest asset is our product, right? We've actually spent no money on consumer acquisition, and we're really proud of it because users come to us because they love our recommendations. Users come to us because they find relevant things to do in their city by virtue of having Little Black Book on their phone. And I think for me, I've always been a firm believer in products being the definition of your success story, as opposed to throwing money at a problem to solve it. To give you an example of a business that I really admire, would be something like an Uber, where now the second I think about stepping out without my own car, the brand that comes to top of my mind is Uber. We want LBB to be that brand every time you're looking to, do something in your city, whether it's go sign up for a yoga class or join a, pottery session somewhere, or go to a restaurant, or, attend a gig or a stand-up comedy night somewhere in your city. And I think for us, really entrenching ourselves in that local mind space is a lot more important than chasing after vanity metrics of what is your number of downloads or your what are your MUV, so on and so forth. So where we see our brand going, at least at the end of this year, is really owning our consumer and making sure that if you love Little Black Book, you don't just come to us to find a restaurant, you come to us to make all your local consumption choices. I think in terms of content trends, the big things, as I mentioned as a part of our panel as well, is one, any content/media company, and I count Google, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram as media companies because that's their medium of of choice and of expression. I think functionality is really important. A consumer needs to know exactly when to use you, and if they don't know that, then you're sitting on a lost cause. So if all you want to do is make a platform, for viral content, you're going to have a tough time cracking that because, you have a BuzzFeed and a Scoop who are known, for that kind of content. So I think within content, a lot of it is cutting yourself a good slice of what you want to do with your content and making sure your content delivers that promise. And I think the second big thing within content is experimentation with formats. Who would have thought that emojis would become the new way of expression? Who would have thought that suddenly putting a filter of, flower crown would become, the most coveted thing which we've seen happen over, Snapchat. And the true mavericks in the media tech space are the ones who are saying that users want new ways to express themselves, and users want new ways to consume information. And if you're constantly innovating on that, then you're sitting on something. And if you're not, then you're in trouble. I think data will be the most important thing in content, and the reason why I say that is because traditionally content companies like magazines, like newspapers, have always been driven by editors, right? So they've always been driven by a cohort of people who think they know exactly what should be pushed out on the platform. And I think the big wave of change now has been that more often than not, content companies need to start understanding their users, using data points, using metrics, and really narrow down on who their core customer is. And that's going to be the big wave of change, where content is not just going to mean, oh, what does this picture look like, or what does this article look like. It's going to break down into what was the demographic, what was the time spent, what was the engagement, what layers of a funnel could I create on my content for me to finally engage with my customer, and that's totally going to change the way people look at content companies, and it's also going to change the way founders and CEOs and CPOs work on creating products that are content driven.